Hey, you're hanging out in the Link Up Lounge. I'm Tiffany Mason.
And I'm Donna Ruppel. Around here, we believe success isn't just about what you know, it's about who you link up with. This is your lounge for turning one link into endless opportunities.
Donna, it blows my mind that the two of us have over 30 years of combined networking experience.
I know! We've built businesses, expanded networks, and created unstoppable momentum, all through the power of strategic connections.
AKA networking. And now we're here to guide you to do the same, starting today.
So let's dive in, connect, and start making moves you didn't even know were possible. Welcome back to the Link Up Lounge. I'm Donna Ruppel, your Nocatee real estate expert, and I'm here with my co-host Tiffany Mason of Virtually You, the boutique podcast management agency.
This is your lounge for turning one link into endless opportunities. And today we're talking about something that seems small, but will make a huge impact. It's the surprise and delight method. It's one of the easiest ways to make your network talk about you in the best way.
People don't remember the generic thank you email. I know we just talked about this in our last episode. It is important to send a thank you email, but they aren't going to remember the generic thank you email. So I want to differentiate that. They remember the unexpected moment, the little detail you remembered, the extra step you took, or the thoughtful gesture that felt personal.
Yep, exactly right. These aren't grand gestures. They're intentional ones. It's not about the price tag. It's about the moment of connection. When someone feels seen and appreciated, they talk about it. And that's where true word of mouth magic begins.
So today we are breaking down how small, thoughtful gestures can spark massive word of mouth momentum without spending a fortune or overthinking it.
So I think that networking is a lot like relationships, right? And so with my husband, I'm always saying to him, like, it doesn't have to be this grand gesture. We don't have to get in a limo and go to some 5-star restaurant. We can just simply like ride around on the golf cart or go for a ride on the moped or take the dogs for a walk around the block, right? And it's the same thing when we're talking about our connections that we're trying to make in business. We want to connect with them, like we said in the last episode, very genuinely, but it's just these small little things that make you go, oh yeah. And honestly, Donna, I can't stop thinking about Highland cows, okay? Ever since you told me a couple of episodes ago, I'm like, this chick likes Highland cows. And so I'm like, what am I going to do with a Highland cow to let Donna know that, like, I heard you, I see you, and it's been on my mind a lot. And it's just
funny.
one of those things, like, once you learn something about someone, you know, like, how can you capitalize on that in the most genuine way possible?
Right.
So let's clear some things up about surprise and delight. Doesn't mean you're constantly sending gifts or being over the top. You're not love bombing people. It's about doing something unexpectedly thoughtful. And I think you and I had talked about those little cards that we have gotten from someone in our group. And, you know, those are the things that people remember. I have based my whole life off of people will not remember what you said or what you did, but they will remember the way that you made them feel, from Maya Angelou. And that is just like such a foundational thought to live by. You know, like, how can you continue to make people remember you in the best way, the most genuine way? How can you let them know that they're seeing that you know, value them in your sphere?
Right. Absolutely. I mean, there's nothing that's going to make you stand out more than when you do something unexpected, when you do something that makes you stand out. So I remember a long time ago when I first met the woman who sends these wonderful affirmation cards. And we met for coffee. And right after that, days later, I got a written note saying how much she enjoyed our time together and had that little affirmation card in there. And I thought to myself, wow, this is ideal, difference making, and it makes you stand out in my mind, obviously, because years later, I'm still talking about it. So,
and it also makes you feel inadequate in your networking.
Right? Like, I should really be doing this. Now, I did say that happened 2 years ago, and I do not do that every time. So I would say handwritten notes, awesome. Now, are you always going to be able to get somebody's, address, and you're always going to have that? I don't know how expensive stamps are nowadays, but you're always going to have a stamp on hand. You're always going to have their address, probably not. But, there's other things you can do that are going to differentiate you from the rest through this surprise and delight method.
Okay, so let's talk about what some of those things are. So here it is. Get your pen and paper ready. If you're driving, please review afterwards. Okay, so we're saying handwritten notes. So a short little note after meeting someone, mentioning a detail from your conversation that really stood out. One that I love is this voice memo or this video message, just a quick
Mm,
little 30 seconds. Like, hey, I saw Highland Cow today and it made me think of when we were doing the podcast and I didn't even know you liked Highland cows and we're supposedly such good friends and ha ha ha. Okay, that's for maybe an existing relationship. And then maybe somebody else is, I saw a car and it was the same color as the nail polish that you have. And I just thought that that was so funny because we went on an extended conversation about that specific color of red. Anyways, I was thinking about you and just wanted to say hi and really enjoyed our interaction the other day. And then follow up articles. Maybe you just share a link or share a podcast episode that relates directly to something that they mentioned. So I know at the end of our podcast episodes, lots of times we're saying like, hey, if this made you think of someone, that's a genuine invite, you guys. If these episodes make you think of someone, share them. You really could be helping somebody and it would really show like, oh, they were present during our conversation.
absolutely. Okay, other ideas. Personalization moments. Like, remember milestones. These are something that I think every salesperson is probably taught in their trainings, no matter what kind of sales you're in. But
Mm-hmm.
sending birthday messages, business anniversaries, if
I keep
they're
a Trello board for my clients. And when they
mm,
come up on milestones like a 50th episode or a 25th episode or those kind of things, I always like to put it in the little description box like, oh my gosh, can you believe it? You're at episode 50. So when they are going through their Trello board and they go to their next episode and they open it and they're like, oh my gosh, she
yeah.
like is acknowledging like this is kind of a big deal. I am on episode 50. Like, okay, yeah, we should do something kind of cool and like, call it out. So I think that that's great on the milestones. And I think LinkedIn is so great for that too, right? Like even if you
Yes.
haven't talked to somebody for a while, they're like, Tiffany Mason is celebrating 4 years or Tiffany Mason is celebrating 5 years, or when
Yeah.
the birthday reminders come up, that's another great one. So yeah, social media is trying to help us out.
Yeah. And, for me, obviously, as a realtor, it's anniversary of when they bought their house,
Sure.
those kind of things. So, whatever notes, again, you would put into your CRM or whatever client management you're using, milestones. I mean, those are such an easy reach out. Those are
Yeah.
easy touch point. So just it can be even a kid's graduation, a quick congratulations, a
Yeah.
DM, card, whatever. Any kind of remembering a milestone is really good. Custom introductions, connecting two
Mhm.
people with a short, thoughtful intro explaining why you think they might want to connect. It shows that you were truly listening when they were talking about their business or what would be a good referral for them or things like that. So, custom introductions. I like to do a joint or text message, email or text message, where I'm
Me too.
saying, you know, hey, Tiffany, I wanted to introduce you to Tabitha because Tabitha mentioned she's interested in a podcast. And I told her that you're a podcast producer. And I thought the two of you might be able to communicate. I don't know if it's going to work and it fits all the right boxes, but I wanted to be sure and make the introduction. And
Yeah.
then, leave it there and they can continue the conversation and
I
you
really
did the
like in
connection.
those kind of connections, I really like leaving it with I leave it in your capable hands, to
Mm,
connect, whatever,
right?
like kind of excuse myself from it as well, like make
Yes.
the introduction. I'm here for you, whatever. And then I always consider the source. If they keep me in the group text or the group email, then I realize they don't know how to, maybe
Get me
copy
out.
paste and right, right. So I just
Yeah.
let it ride. But it is nice to see them connect and, make the introduction. And I think so too. Explaining why you're connecting them is really important.
Yes,
Yes, it shows that you understand each person's business, but that you were listening, that you heard them, that you were invested in the conversation. You're happy to help.
absolutely. And then the last one I would say unexpected shout outs. So, you could highlight someone's work in your newsletter or on your podcast or in a LinkedIn post without them asking you to do it, but saying something like, hey, I met this really cool person and they do this. And I wanted to share that with you, in whatever platform you're doing the sharing.
Yeah,
So
well, I think we've mentioned that before too, shouting out other people's successes, right? Like,
yes.
oh my gosh, my friend has been trying to sell this house for 2 months and she finally got it sold and the family signed the papers. And, I'm so proud of my friend for closing her 10th house or her 25th house or whatever the
Yeah.
milestone is.
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
that's pretty awesome too. Yeah. And I
Absolutely.
do love reposting a LinkedIn post. I love a repost.
Right? I know, it's so easy.
Yes.
Or repost.
Because people they're saying things. Usually, they're posting big things about their business. So they wrote a book, or they were on a podcast episode, or whatever. I love capitalizing on that, and also putting more eyes on their content for them. So
Yes.
yes. Okay. So another thing would be a connection enhancer. So a virtual coffee surprise. Send a small digital coffee card with a note. Next one's on me. Can't wait to catch up. Basically inviting them out. And I think that the realtors have this kind of cool thing that y'all are doing right now where y'all are sending out little freebies for people to go pick up to keep you top of mind with them, but
Mhm.
also it's benefiting the businesses. Like it sounds like it's a win-win all the way around, but it's definitely giving you guys a way to virtually surprise your clientele or your email list and let them think about you and let them know that you were thinking about them and hey, go treat yourself.
Yeah. Absolutely. I do think virtual coffee cards are so easy too. Like you can order them through the Starbucks or Dunkin' app and just email them directly to the person with a note.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But also, you could pick up $5 coffee cards at
Sure.
either of those places and mail the physical card with a handwritten note too.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Mm-hmm.
that definitely makes you stand out as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. Another connection enhancer would be to invite someone to join you. So if you're attending a webinar, a networking event, workshop, anything like that, invite them to join you. I think we mentioned that in the last episode as well. But, when you're trying to set up your networking plan or whatever, who would you want in that room with you? Who could you have a code word that you're going to, get each other out of a conversation if you need to, but also just to have that comfort of, somebody that in the room as well.
Yeah. And if it's somebody that you want to further the conversation with, further the connection with, it could be a great opportunity because you're going to go because you both want to go to this webinar, or this networking event, or whatever it is. But while you're there and you're meeting other people and talking to other people, you can also deepen your relationship too. So it's a win-win in so many ways.
Well, networking is kind of awkward because it's all these like brand new relationships for the most part. And the reason why we find comfort in our existing relationships is because they have history. So,
Mhm.
how can you create that history in a professional setting? So, I think if you are attending a webinar or networking event or whatever else that you think that you would like them to join you on, you're just building that much more history. So, when you see them
Mhm.
at the next thing, it's like, oh, this is a little bit better than that last one we attended, or I liked it the last one when we had this option and this one didn't have that option. So,
Mhm.
it gives you guys something to build that relationship on as well.
Yeah, I do think that when you go to networking events, sometimes I feel a little bit like you're swimming in a lake, let's say. And when you see somebody it's like your opportunity to rest on a raft. and then
Oh, sure.
and then you're like, okay, I have to go swim over here now. And then you find another raft eventually,
Yes.
I was at this event and I went up to intentionally talk to somebody who I wanted her business card. I wanted to connect with her because I feel like I could use her services in my professional referral network. And so I went up with intention to talk to her. And right as I got to her, I realized she was deep in a conversation with somebody else. And I was kind of like, oh, okay, I don't want to interrupt, right? And I could stand here awkwardly and waiting, which I also think kind of then makes her distracted by my presence. I don't know. And I
Yes,
was like,
yes.
oh my God, this is awkward. Okay. And so then I turned around to see if I knew anybody else around me. And there was two women I knew behind me, kind of like the raft. And I went, okay. So I went to talk to her, but she's deep in a conversation. So now I'm going to talk to you. And they laughed and they thought it was funny. And I was like, I mean, there's no escaping this awkwardness because there was nowhere else for
Yeah,
me to go.
yeah.
But I feel like just even remotely knowing somebody at a networking event can kind of feel like that raft where you can just rest for a second and then you go swimming off into the next,
That's a great analogy.
relationship. That's how I feel. I can only swim for so long and then I need to rest for a second.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right. So you can bring your raft with you.
right, right. Bring your raft so you know you have a raft. Okay, that's important. We don't want anybody drowning. Okay, so the next couple things we want you to think about is leadership and support. So tag thoughtfully. When you post content that aligns with their expertise, tag them or quote something they said. Be really intentional about tagging people in certain things. And we've talked about this in our social media post. You can tag somebody to bring their attention to a post, but sometimes people tag me and I'm like, why did they want me to look at this? Like, what are they
Yeah.
what are they
Yeah.
saying? What are they getting at? Do they
Yeah.
want me to go with them? If it's an event, do they have questions about this? Are they
Mm-hmm.
interested in why'd you tag me? So I always say tag somebody and say like something with it. I'm going to say four
Mm-hmm.
words or more. So whenever I tag somebody as a referral, I'll be like, oh, Tiffany Mason. I tag Tiffany Mason. I'm like, this is the podcast guru you want. And so then when you see it, it's like a referral to this person's post. Whatever.
Yes.
Because when we're all scrolling through all the thousands of things that come at us each and every day, give somebody a little bit of help. Why are you tagging them in this? And then
Yes, I
number
agree with
2
that.
would be offer your skill. If someone mentions a challenge, offer a small tip, resource, or template that you already have. So somebody asked me the other day, what is the process in getting loan approval, right? We get that question a lot. Well, I was like, you know what? I have a guide I can send you through email. It gives you all the steps and all the details. He
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh, awesome. Okay. It saved me a whole long conversation that I go through a lot anyway. But I made up this free mortgage guide, right? And it talks about pre approval and all the steps and all the process. And it's super easy for me to just give to somebody. And it's not that long. And so, offering your skill in some way, and it doesn't have to be something like that. It can be just, a small tip. Oh, I found this resource and it was super helpful to me. It could be,
Yes.
hey, I'm listening to this really awesome podcast about networking. They have so many tips. Let me send that to you because it could help you with blah, blah, blah. Right. And then we're
Yeah.
talking about the Link Up Lounge.
Well, I think also in there, they say to like go into Facebook groups and offer advice. And so I was in a Facebook group yesterday about podcasting and somebody was asking about growth strategies. And I think that there's a fine line to toe. One person that is very prominent in the industry said, I have a guide. I'd be happy to send it to you. Are you interested? And the person said yes. And he's like, I don't have any vested interest in this. I'm not getting your email. It's just simply a guide I'll send to you if you're interested in having it. And then there were other people who said like, oh, you can go to my website and get this. Oh, you can go to my website and get this. And it's like, I thought it was more genuine to be like, here's just some free help, like
Right.
just give someone the small tip. Why do we have to make everybody work so hard for everything? Like they
Right.
just want to know how to promote their podcast.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, just being able to respond sometimes on a social media post with some free advice and not make them go somewhere else for it. That's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they go, oh, this person's always saying stuff about what do they do? What is their website? Where's their link in bio? What's going on with this person?
Right.
You know? Yeah. Okay. So the other thing that you can do with our surprise and delight, I remember hearing this a long time ago, and I think surprise and delight kind of alludes to what is the saying? Under promise and over deliver. I think
Yes.
that's kind of the
Mhm.
idea that we're going with here. So send a throwback. If you met at a past event, you share a photo or memory that reminds you of that moment. So like, I do this with my kids a lot, honestly. When the flashback comes up on Facebook, I'm like, oh my
Oh,
gosh,
yeah.
look how little we were. Oh my gosh, remember when we were doing this, that, and the other. And it's also nice when the reminder comes up for like, you've been friends for 2 years.
Oh,
Like, oh
yeah.
my gosh, can you believe it's 2 years since we met at blah, blah, blah networking event? And, we didn't know if we were going to hit it off, but then you changed your business and now here we are. And I don't know, that's a very elaborate story. Anyway.
It's kind of like my Kilimanjaro from the other episodes.
So those little reminders, remember when, and also random just because check-ins, like not about business, not just asking how they go along the way, just asking how they're doing can go, a long way. And I know that when people check in with me and they're like, hey, how are you feeling? How's it going? I'm like, wow, you didn't forget that I had strep throat last week, or oh, you didn't forget that, I had this, oh my gosh, you guys, my computer died 2 weeks ago. That was a whole hot mess. And I had people checking in on me like, did you get a new computer? Do you know what you're doing? And it wasn't just my clients. It was just people that were genuinely concerned for me, which was really nice. So yeah, I think that, again, it's just these little things, people. It's just people may not remember what you did or what you said, but they will remember that the way that you made them feel. And so how can we, embrace people, see people, connect with people? We're all seeking this connection right now. I mean, everybody keeps saying we're the loneliest we've ever been. So how can we make those connections and just see people, value them in our network?
I do feel that the in-person connection has, for a long time during the COVID years, it was taken away. And it's slower to roll out of your house now. I think we got into that habit of feeling like, oh, Zoom is fine. A phone call is fine. But when we go out in person and you meet somebody for coffee, or you go to a networking event, or you go to an event with live in-person people, don't you feel so different when you walk away? You feel so different versus if you met them on a Zoom. It's just not the same.
Well, and I think things can get lost in translation too. So if it's just a text or it's just a tag, it's like, okay, I don't know. Or you read into it. Whereas if it's the little voice memo that we were talking about, or the throwback or whatever, that evokes a different type of emotion, a different type of connection.
Yes, absolutely. So just like sending a voice memo instead of a text, or mailing a handwritten thank you, or even throwing the $5 coffee card in just because someone mentioned they're having a busy week. These small, meaningful touches stick with people. It's the surprise and delight because it feels personal. It feels like a surprise.
Yeah, it's not just about direct referrals. It's about becoming the person they remember, recommend, and rave about, even in rooms that you're not in. And it all starts with simple moments of generosity and connection.
Yeah. And if you're someone who loves to be thoughtful anyway, or if you're someone who there's very specific sales training out there that talks about writing 2 handwritten notes a day to potential customers or past clients or whatever. If you're somebody who is already in that flow, you are already steps ahead. This isn't extra work, right? This is already in your habits. We're kind of talking about, people who maybe aren't doing that. I've been trained to do that, and I do not do that as I should.
Do as we say, not as we do.
Right? It's a lot to keep that many stamps on hand. Okay, so, but
it's because we are so intentional with going in and doing our networking in person.
Right.
And we're already really making a mark on people.
I wish that were true. But even the voice memo, like you said, or the $5 coffee card or whatever, I mean, if you're someone who loves to be thoughtful anyway, or you're somebody who already has this habit of handwritten notes, this isn't extra work. It's just intentionality. I mean, build it into your weekly rhythm. Put it in your time blocking. Put it on your to-do list. Watch the ripple effects grow as you connect with people on a way more intentional level with this surprise and delight.
You don't have to do big things. You just have to do small things with big care. It's like we always say, it's all the small things that add up to big results.
Yes, thoughtful is powerful. And people talk about how you make them feel, just like Tiffany said. So it is time to flip the switch to networking mode on. This week, pick one person in your network and do something to surprise and delight them. One person. You can do that. A voice memo, a book, recommendation, a small gift, a card, whatever feels right to you. No strings, no expectations, just some genuine thoughtfulness. Networking mode on.
If you're enjoying these conversations, make sure to subscribe so you never miss your chance to grow your network the right way. And if you know someone who's looking to stand out and get more referrals, send them this episode. Let's help them master the art of surprise and delight. Let's keep building those powerful links together.
You've been hanging out in the Link Up Lounge, your lounge for turning one link into endless opportunities.
Now it's your turn. Go make a powerful link today.
Networking mode on.